The work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
So it shouldn't exactly surprise anyone to see the mainstream media protecting Kamala Harris. That is exactly what they do, and we should be used to that by now. But even by those standards, this latest scandal with 60 Minutes and CBS News is pretty freaking bad, and we'll tell you about that today. But folks, I'm Vince with RTM News. If you're wondering where we are, I'm currently in evacuation mode for Hurricane Milton, so we will be out of the office for the next couple of days, but we still want to bring you the content, so do us a big favor. If you enjoy it, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Your subscription goes a long way in ensuring we can keep bringing you videos like this, whether that's in the state of Florida or an evacuation zone or somewhere else or whatever. So, do us that big favor, hit that subscribe button down below. And with that said, if you're probably wondering what this is, why am I saying there's a scandal unfolding and this is bigger than generic media bias? Well, 60 Minutes recently got caught editing the answers that Kamala Harris gave in the recent interview. Now, this is not a matter of just stitching it up a little bit for concisity. You might say, oh, well, it's time for TV, so they got to shorten it a little bit. No, as you will hear here, it's a matter of not just a little bit of editing. They made her answer on the Israel-Gaza conflict sound completely different from what she actually said. And we'll start here. Take a listen to what she really said, and then take a listen to what they ran on TV. So let's start with this one.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems...
All right, so you heard that. That's obviously her original answer on Israel-Gaza, and you can tell probably why they edited it out. It sounds stupid. It's a total word salad. She clearly has no idea what she's actually talking about. She sounds like when you're trying to give a book report back when you were in school and you didn't actually read the book. So you say that The Catcher in the Rye was about a catcher that's also in a rye. Terrible answer. Now, with that said, take a listen to what aired on TV in the interview and ask yourself, how is this allowed? Is this even legal? I guess it is, but it's very unethical, and it really makes you question why the mainstream media has any credibility with any American in the first place. But here's what you saw on TV.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
You really can't make this up. The original one, she sounds like a complete idiot, and then they stitched together an answer of her talking in a different portion of the interview to make it sound like, oh yeah, she's being firm, she's being tough with Netanyahu. Look at that answer. We're going to keep standing up for the United States' interest. And then the actual answer and how she's really going to talk to foreign leaders when she doesn't have an editor to change it up. Word salad, word salad. Now, the funniest part about all of it is, despite the fact that 60 Minutes was very unethically trying to cover for her, this interview, if you saw it or you saw some of the highlights of it, was still, even with the editing, a pretty giant disaster for Kamala Harris. Take a listen to just a couple examples of that.
Was democracy best served by President Biden stepping down and basically handing you a nomination? You didn't have to go through a primary process. You didn't have to fight off other contenders. That's not really the way our system was intended to work.
President Biden made a decision that I think history is going to show is rare among leaders, which was to put country before self.
I'm sorry, that answer is just so ridiculously laughable. First of all, Joe Biden didn't do it for his country, okay? He did it because many people, including probably you, right, forced him out of the race. But on top of that, you can just tell by her face, she was shocked. She was truly appalled at even being asked this question. But believe it or not, there's much more to it. So take a listen.
And I am proud to have earned the support of the vast majority of delegates and to have been elected the Democratic nominee. I am proud to have received the endorsement of leaders around this country from every background and walk of life to fight in this election over the next month for our democracy.
But I think this truncated process is why people think or say they don't really know who you are.
Look, I've been in this race for 70 days.
I don't know if the interviewer was actually supposed to ask that question, okay? You can clearly tell. Now, given what we know now, I'm very surprised they even left this part in, because she is basically asked, you were not even voted for as a candidate. You received 0 votes in the primary. You were installed. You claim to be all about democracy. What is that about? And her response is basically, oh, well, sure, the people didn't vote for me, but the Democratic Party elite endorsed me, and that's why I'm here to save our democracy. Such a ridiculous answer. So yeah, despite this whole situation with the editing and the serious ethical concerns I think it raises, to me, the one silver lining, at least as it pertains to this election, is that Kamala Harris was still terrible in this interview, no matter how bad they tried to cut it up or clip it or straight up present an answer that was not even said on TV. But that understood, I think it's perfectly reasonable now, and people can finally see why Donald Trump refused to do the 60 Minutes interview, because he said back in 2020 that the interviewer was trying to fact check him, quote unquote, about the Hunter Biden laptop. The Hunter Biden laptop is obviously a story that is now confirmed to be true, and CBS won't apologize for it, and he's basically been demanding that, and they refuse to do it to him. Take a listen.
Later, Trump said he needed an apology for his interview in 2020. Trump claims correspondent Leslie Stahl said in that interview that Hunter Biden's controversial laptop came from Russia. She never said that.
Right. Well, here's what Leslie actually did say back in 2020.
The biggest scandals I've ever seen, and you don't cover it. You want to talk about...
Well, because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me, they found the laptop. Leslie.
Can't be verified.
What can't be verified?
The laptop.
Why do you say that?
Because
even the
it's
family
verified.
the family on the laptop, he's gone into hiding. For 5 days, he's gone into hiding.
He's preparing for your debate.
Yeah, so again, folks, I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. But we do not have a news media in this country, at least not anymore. You could make the argument it's always had its issues, but it's definitely a lot worse now, right? We have a propaganda arm of the Democrat Party, okay? And 60 Minutes is an example of historically a show and an interview series that's supposed to be pretty fair and down the middle, right? We're not talking about MSNBC, or Fox News, things that from the start were always supposed to be partisan, like by nature. We're talking about one of the oldest sort of interview series like this in America that are just supposed to, platform and give the big story, and the 60 Minutes interview for both candidates is always considered to be a big thing. And now what are they doing out here, right? They're just straight up editing stuff on behalf of one candidate. Meanwhile, the other candidate, they're furiously out there trying to fact check. It's ridiculous. And you can certainly imagine that if Fox News did this, if any right-wing entity was editing an interview in this way, it would be over, right? They'd be in serious trouble. Heck, they might even try to file a lawsuit. Who knows? But when this happens, it's definitely not being talked about enough. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Do you think this scandal, first of all, will actually get out there? People will talk about it, or will it get buried? And then if true, how much do you think it really hurts Kamala Harris? With that said, I've been Vince with RTM News. Until next time, peace.